What's up, everyone? I'm the Shadow Sage. Today I'm coming to you with part 4 of What If Naruto's Race and Not Myoboku. And if you enjoyed the video, just like and subscribe. And this series does not actually have a like goal, but if you do enjoy the video, please like the video and it helps the channel out a lot. And I recommend watching the previous videos of this series before you watch this, because it'll help you a lot as well. And without further ado, let's get into the recap. Alright everyone, hold up. This is future Shadow Sage. I just want to say we hit 1K subs. This is so mad. Honestly, I made this channel like 2 months ago and I'm literally shitting myself. We hit it yesterday and this video is coming out really late because I am actually out of state at the moment. I'm visiting some relatives. I'm staying with some relatives. But I just want to thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Wow, 1K. This blows my mind. And I want to say that we are making a Discord server. So I'm putting that up. I'm setting that up right now. And yeah, just thank you so much. And I think more things will be coming soon. So stay tuned for that. And without further ado, now let's actually get into the recap. In the previous parts, Naruto and Sasuke are knocked out and Sasuke got the curse mark and he will take care of Team Dosu. And they'll head on to the prelims of the Chunin exams, where most of the fights will go exactly the same, except Kiba will be dealt with easily by Naruto. And then they'll have the 1-1 training arc where Naruto will learn the Rasengan because he already knows the summoning jutsu. And then he'll go on to beat Neji, and the rest of the fights in the third phase will go pretty much the same. And Sasuke will stab Gaara, making him bleed for the first time ever, kicking off the Konoha Crush arc as Gaara goes insane. Now let's get into the actual part. So when Kabuto sees Gaara start to lose control, he'll come through clutch and use his Feather Genjutsu. And Naruto will be able to resist the Genjutsu, and he'll chase after Gaara just like Sasuke did, as well as Shino. And Kakashi will tell Sakura, Paku, and Shikamaru to go after them, while Guy and Kakashi need their Jonin take care of business in the arena, like in canon. When Sakura, Paku, and Shikamaru are chasing them, Shikamaru will stay behind to distract the Sound Ninja that were pursuing them in canon. And this is pretty much identical to canon, except for Naruto is with Sasuke. Meanwhile, Naruto and Sasuke are about to take on Kankuro, but Shino will come through clutch and take him on by himself. Then Naruto and Sasuke are going to face Temari, and Sasuke took out Temari by himself in canon, but now it's Naruto and Sasuke, so they can take her out even quicker. And right now, their dynamic in this timeline is pretty cool. They're pretty much partners and rivals, unless like Sasuke is calling Naruto a loser or stuff like that. So basically, they have more respect amongst each other. Also, since they took care of Temari faster, they can go on to fight Gaara even earlier, so that means Sakura won't show up on time and she won't become a liability and become a hostage of Gaara. So they can basically take Gaara on without having to worry about Sakura. Then Sasuke and Naruto will try tag team Gaara, and at this point Gaara is halfway transformed and he'll be able to fend off Naruto and Sasuke. And Naruto and Sasuke can realize that this battle is not in their favor, and they decide to fall back and strategize. They then hide behind a few trees and they come up with a plan. And they do this because they have a lot more chemistry in this timeline, as I said earlier. And Sasuke mentions that lightning style worked really good against Gaara's sand during the fight, because obviously the Chidori could pierce Gaara's sand shield. And this will give Naruto a light bulb moment. He will try to use Sasuke's lightning style on the now 3/4 transformed Shukaku, and Naruto will summon a water-style toad, and he'll tell Sasuke how to do a collaboration jutsu, and it's a water-lightning collaboration, because obviously water conducts electricity. The only problem is Sasuke has no idea how to do a collaboration jutsu, so Naruto will run out and try to do one on Gaara, and let Sasuke copy it with the Sharingan, so now he knows how to do one. So then Naruto does a wind-water style collaboration jutsu with the toad, but since those two elements don't really mix, it won't do much damage on Gaara. So then once Sasuke can see how collaboration jutsus work with the Sharingan, he will then tell Naruto that he's good, and Naruto and the Toad retreat back so they can actually go forward with their real plan. The Toad will then send a powerful wave of water at Gaara, and then Sasuke pulls chakra into his hand and then pulls it into the wave of water, which then hits Gaara. And it does a lot of damage, but it's almost like it backfires on Naruto and Sasuke, because this damaging attack almost seems to make Gaara go even more berserk, transforming him into his fully Shukaku state. And this is when Sakura shows up, and she'll be taken hostage by Gaara, just like she did in the canon timeline. And even though Gaara is in his fully transformed state, he is much stronger, but he's not at his full power transformed state. He's at 95%, because obviously Sasuke did get the pretty decent collaboration jutsu one, but it's still 95%, so he's still strong as hell. Seeing Sakura being taken hostage, Naruto and Sasuke will be extremely angered, and on sheer reaction of the Shukaku's true size, Naruto will summon Gamabunta, and Naruto and Sasuke will hop on top of Gamabunta. And Gamabunta won't say no to Naruto in this timeline because they've had each other's trust for years now. They've been like training together, and he is pretty much a disciple of Gamabunta. Like, he learned most of his moves from Gamabunta. And also, the reason Sasuke's still in this fight is because he isn't being affected by the curse mark, because since he has Naruto's help, he won't be too like strained, but the curse mark won't take him over. And the rest of this fight will go pretty much the same, except since Naruto and Sasuke are there, Naruto won't simply headbutt Gaara in order to like wake him up. Naruto and Sasuke can punch Gaara together, which will eventually wake him up. But it's safe to say, since Gamabunta was there and Naruto and Gamabunta had more chemistry, Sasuke will be less of a factor, even though he's still in the fight, so Naruto is still carrying, to say the least. Then when they're all on the ground, Naruto will talk no Jutsu Gaara and talk about the power of friendship, and how he has friends with the Toads and his new friends with the Konoha Shinobi, such as Sasuke and Sakura. And since Sasuke is right there next to Naruto, I feel like he would also be listening to Naruto, and he'll hear Naruto's talk no Jutsu. And he can tell that Naruto was carrying in the battle, but these words will touch him, so it might sway him in the end on whether he wants to go to Orochimaru or not. These words will kind of stay on Sasuke's mind for a while, and he will have to think long and hard about Naruto's words. But now we will focus on the fight going on between the third Hokage and his former star pupil. And there really isn't much reason to spend a lot of time on this fight, because there's no foreign variables in this fight, and it'll pretty much have an identical outcome to the canon fight. So basically, Hiruzen uses the Reaper Death Seal, he loses his life, and Orochimaru loses his arms. And they'll have the whole funeral for Hiruzen, and they'll honor Sasuke and Naruto for stopping the Shukaku, and that's pretty much it. Also, Itachi Isami will visit the Leaf, and Itachi toys with Asuma, Kurenai, and Kakashi just like in canon, and then Kakashi gets hit by the Tsukuyomi and is hospitalized for a week, and that is basically just what happened in canon, and that'll go exactly the same. So, Jiraiya and Naruto will set out for the outpost town and stay in inn for the night. And Sasuke will find out about Itachi and is going after Naruto to find him at the outpost town. And Jiraiya will leave the inn to go out and do his special research, and Naruto will be meditating when he hears a knock at the door. And when he opens the door, he will see the Sharingan, and instead of in canon where he thinks that it's just Sasuke but is a 19-year-old man, he will actually be smart enough to realize that it's Itachi, and he will try to run away, but Itachi is way too fast. But when Itachi grabs Naruto, it poofs into a cloud of smoke and reveals a log, or like a book. They probably don't have logs inside the inn, so he substitutes into a book. Itachi then sees Naruto climbing out of the window, but Naruto is still too slow, and Itachi just blitzes Naruto and grabs him again. And that's when Sasuke will show up, and he will like have this hissy fit and like yell, "Itachi!" And he'll charge up his Chidori and get completely body slammed by Itachi. Gets cocked and say, "You don't have enough hate, Sasuke." And that encounter will go pretty much the same. That's when Jiraiya shows up and summons the Toad's Mouth, and he'll scare away Itachi and Kisame, just like in canon. And I have to mention that Sasuke does get Tsukuyomi just like in canon, which knocks him out. Then Guy will come to get the unconscious Sasuke and take him back to the village, and then Naruto and Jiraiya will travel to find their true target. When Naruto and Jiraiya find Tsunade, she'll be drunk as hell just like in canon, and she'll shit-talk the Hokage and shit-talk Hiruzen. And Naruto will be kind of offended when she shit-talks Hiruzen, but he doesn't really get annoyed when she shit-talks the Hokage, because he has no aspirations to become Hokage, and he has no connection to like the Hokage and what it symbolizes, because obviously he wasn't even raised in the Leaf, so he doesn't really know what the Hokage stands for. To be fair, he isn't really that much offended when she shit-talks Hiruzen, because like he was never really close to Hiruzen. He was just like offended because he saw Hiruzen as someone who graciously died for the Leaf and sacrificed himself, but it's not like he was close to Hiruzen anyway. He never was like raised by Hiruzen or cared for by Hiruzen in this timeline. He was cared for by the Toads and not Hiruzen. So that really doesn't bother him that much, only just a little bit. So that means that he won't like stand up and like shit talk Tsunade, and they won't take it out to the street. That means they never fight, and Naruto never says that the Hokage is his dream, and that means she never makes the bet on her necklace and about her becoming Hokage over him learning the Rasengan no week. And since Naruto never says becoming Hokage is his dream, that means Tsunade is never reminded of her Dawn and little brother, I forget his name, like Kawaki or Nawaki. Yeah, it was Dawn and Nawaki. So basically, she'll never be reminded of those two, and she'll never like be moved by Naruto. I can see after like begging her for like a few hours, Jiraiya and Naruto will give up for the night, and they'll go back the next day. And I feel like they would beg her for a few days, but without Naruto inspiring her, she will still always refuse. And I would see them after like 4 or 5 days of just straight begging, they're gonna realize that this effort is futile, and they're just gonna head back to the Leaf Village, leaving her and making Jiraiya become the 5th Hokage. So this means she stays in a little town, and that means when she has to have the meeting with Orochimaru, she will attack Orochimaru all by herself, just like she originally planned to, and she'll try destroying his arms. But Kabuto will realize it just like in canon, and they'll have their fight, except this time Naruto and Jiraiya aren't there, so it's Tsunade and Shizune against Kabuto and Orochimaru. And I'm 100% sure we know who's winning that fight. Orochimaru and Kabuto will just slap Tsunade and Shizune, and they will take Tsunade as a prisoner. Then they would force her to heal Orochimaru's arms, and since she's already there, they're gonna force her to heal Kimimaro as well. I could see Tsunade holding out and refusing, but then they would take Shizune and threaten to kill Shizune, and I feel like Tsunade would give in then, because even though she was like a careless drunkard at the time, she still cared about Shizune, and I could see her healing Kimaru, but healing Orochimaru's arms are just impossible. As skilled as Tsunade is, she won't be able to do it, and I feel like they would kill Shizune and Tsunade after that failure. They've already used her, she's healed Kimaru, but even though Orochimaru's arms are not healed, they can now take Kimaru's body, so that's a fix for him. He doesn't really need his arms healed at that point, so he just kills Tsunade and Shizune right there. Like, we know that Orochimaru really was willing to kill them, like that's just the kind of person that Orochimaru is. And if we're being honest, Orochimaru would probably like experiment on them at first and then kill them. That's just kind of the sick psycho that Orochimaru was. But people don't realize this, but Tsunade dying and not becoming Hokage has major implications. This time, Orochimaru has Kimimaro as a body. This means later on, Sakura never becomes a medical ninja, she never becomes strong. And I quote, Choji's dad said, Tsunade coming back to the village was the greatest thing that ever happened to the village, unquote. Like, her being there to heal so many people saved so many lives. Sakura's never trained, Rock Lee never becomes a ninja again, Choji and Neji die on the Sasuke retrieval mission without Tsunade's healing. Since Sakura doesn't become a medical ninja, she never saves Naruto on multiple occasions, so Naruto probably dies. So Sasuke probably becomes part of Orochimaru's body, because after Kimimaro, he would need Sasuke, and that would probably happen. So Sasuke is dead, Naruto is dead, Choji is dead, Neji is dead, Rock Lee is as good as dead, Sakura is still fodder as hell, then that means so many other people die, and since Sakura also isn't a medical ninja, numerous other people die. Kankuro dies, and yeah, the list just goes on. I can keep going. So essentially, the series just has to end here. Like, nearly everybody in the main cast is gonna eventually end up dying, and that is just a fact, and that means the Akatsuki will just get the Bijou when they like reincarnate, and yeah, the Akatsuki wins, Infinite Tsukuyomi becomes around, and Kaguya is revived. The end. I hate to end this off on a sour note, but this what if simply just does not have a happy ending, and it can't always have a happy ending, and that's just how it ends realistically. So obviously I'm wrapping the video up here, guys, and I'm obviously wrapping up the series as well. And if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. And once again, I'm sorry for leaving on like a not happy ending, but that's just how it was. But remember to stay safe and have a great day. This is just Shadow Sage signing off.